My guest for today is Bevon Charles. She's a visionary leader and founder of Akata Farms, known for her commitment to sustainable agriculture, youth and women's empowerment and gender equality. She has gained international recognition for her work, including the 2021 Commonwealth Youth Award. She is a member of the Pan-Commonwealth Adjudication Panel and leads youth economic development initiatives in the Caribbean, with expertise in various fields including international business, marketing, and AI technology. She continues to drive impactful projects in sustainable development. It's time to meet my guest, Bevon Chadel Charles. Welcome, it's Lexan Digital Media, and of course we are continuing the series celebrating the 50th anniversary of Grenada's independence with this special series, Spotlight Grenada. I have a lady here with me who blows me away with her gift, her talents, and when they say, when God put you here to do something, you got to do it. And this lady here, yes, she is the epitome of going after her dreams. I have with me Ms. Bevon Charles. Now, before she chats a little bit about her career and everything wonderful that she's done, I got to let you know that she is, firstly, a very dynamic leader. She's passionate for something that I've always admired so very deeply, agriculture. Oh my goodness. And also community development and technology. Girl, how do you get the time to do it all? Bevon, welcome to Lexan Digital Media, and you're finally here.
Finally, I think it's 2 years in the making.
Oh my goodness, 2 years in the making, and what a better place, the iconic Grenada National Museum.
Yes.
How have you been?
Exhausted, fun. I've been good, blessed, and I'm sleeping well.
Oh gosh.
So it's good.
Oh wow.
It's good. It's been busy, but it's productive. That's the key.
Now, I know a small fraction of Grenadians, or maybe a bigger fraction, but I think the world knows a lot about you. And I was teasing one of my cameramen earlier. I said, do you have any idea who this lady is? And he's like, I want to know more about her. So before we dive into our conversation, Bevon, Akata Farms, because you are the founder and the owner, take me a little into the name. The name is really intriguing. I'd love to know Akata Farms. Tell me about the name.
Thank you. The name. I was going through a African period in my life. Everything in African song and dance and food and people. And at first, the company name was Charles Chicken and Farm. Family name, that was the name of the business. Right. And I was like, it's too long, it's too wordy. I mean, there's no sustenance behind that. And I just said, if I have to put something that can equate who I am, or where I want to go, or embodies who I am as a person, it has to be resilience, it has to be bold, it has to be transformative. Wow. So I just typed in, what is that word in African dialect? And there it was.
Akata. Wow.
Akata. Wow. But it's amazing because I have this rich, deep passion for anything African and African culture. My daughters are African names, Kenya and Amanata.
Oh, wow.
Listen.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Kenya. Oh my God! Don't worry. I see blushes. Don't worry.
No, I always believe when you give something a name, or you introduce someone, or a child is given a name, it has to be powerful.
I agree.
It's be like, wow, where do you get that name? Bevon it's a very unique name. I'm proud of it, but. Akata, Kenya, Amanata, these are powerful names. So the name just came from a Google search really, but it embodies the boldness of who I am, my resilience, my stubbornness, and being able to adapt despite challenges. So.
Yeah, I like that. And growing up in Grenada, Bevon, how would you say your environment or the influences in your upbringing would have shaped your passion for agriculture in particular?
I think for me, I'm very fortunate and blessed. I grew up in a household, mother and father, was never pressured to have any expectations of me becoming something huge. Right. There was no pressure on that, and I think that was good. I was allowed to make my own decisions. And I think being the eldest in the kids, and having that preview of the challenges that my parents were encountering, and saying, because of them, I was afforded an education. I cannot mess it up, right? I was given the opportunity firsthand as a child growing up. My father is a farmer, and I always talk passionately about his hard work and his resilience. He taught me the love of land and the love of creating things on your own. The beautiful, lush harvest, and then my mother would take that and create beautiful Sunday meals. That's how I grew up, and it was everything sustainable, straight from the farm. We were never about buying chicken in the shop, have our own chicken in the backyard, and so.
That's right.
But it was the seeing that environment and seeing the potential of it. I began working at 8 years old. My father never finished primary school, same thing my mother. Someone had to call the supermarkets and the restaurants to find out if they need lettuce to buy. 8 years old, I'm calling flamboyant at the time of like, and at the time they recognized my voice. It was like, Michelle, Bevon, you called? I was like, yes, I'm calling to find out if you need lettuce to buy.
8 years old?
8 years old.
Wow.
But there was no pressure. It's just like, this is something that you have to do because who else will do it? You know, everybody have a role and a responsibility. We never had a private transport. My father had to go to the lab, my mother had to work. Someone had to deliver that in the morning. And we didn't have much funds to take multiple buses. So before I go to school in the morning, I would have to pay a granddad's bus to take me up to Flamboyant, a Chubly Bay resort, to drop off the produce and then go to school. No pressure there. To me, it was enabling me to become self-sufficient and independent and handling money, because then they have to pay me even though my little stipend at the end of the week. But that was my environment. Seeing things that needs to be done and doing it. And I have carried that throughout secondary school and today. And
look at you today. I don't know about you, but that part of your story that you just shared, I'm not sure how many times you'd have shared it, but do you get emotional when you share it? Because I'm not going to lie for you, thank God I have on these glasses, because I was getting a bit teary-eyed here.
I mean, I do, and I think I did a bumble at the youth symposium when I mentioned my father's history.
Yeah.
So this year, he's turning 63, and I said to him, I'm retiring him. He's no longer have to work, because he taught me this. He taught me the love for land. He taught me the love to feed oneself. And he taught me, most importantly, that if I meant to grow, I had to grow the people around me as well.
He taught me so much, and yet I didn't know until I was in maybe late primary school that he couldn't read and write. And I was like, well, he had big dreams of becoming a football player, and he always talk about that. But when I got old and I realized that if you do not have resources or people to support you, and you do not have, I don't know, you miss opportunities, and that could set a tone for a lot of things that happen in your life. And I get teary. I cried. I started crying, and the ministers and I was like, give him it. And I was like, oh my God. But I got teary-eyed because there are a lot of people like him. Yeah. Brilliant people, gifted people, who do not get the opportunity to reach their full potential. And that is sad in terms of these are missed gifts that we need to develop our country. Yeah. So yeah, I get teary. I'm a softie, and softie. I think, and then I think it strengthened my drive now to show that there are children in our society. I cannot afford for that to happen to them. Yeah. So when they walk up to me for support and they want advice, it doesn't matter how busy I am, I have to pause and listen. Yeah. It's
absolutely. Yeah. Now, the vision, you've touched on a few things related to my next question, but I still think there's a little bit more for you to expound on. So I wanted to find out, I know the inspiration, how would you say it reflects the vision of sustainable agriculture, not just in Grenada, but in the entire Caribbean region and globally?
I would say this, apart from having all the necessities in life, food is something we can't run away from. We have to eat, regardless of who we are, how we look, what language we speak. We have to eat, and I want to ensure that food is made accessible, affordable, and timely whenever someone needs it. There should be no hungry people in the world. And in order to get to that point, there has to be structures and things in place to ensure that we build a strong foundation and that our future, the next generation comes, they don't have to struggle with the same thing that we're struggling with today in terms of food security and so forth. This should have been resolved years ago, in my opinion. Yeah. But because foundations were not laid, we are pointing our history that the foundation is just being laid, but it has to be done correctly. For me, it's ensuring that food is affordable and accessible to everyone, anytime. And that is the aim behind Akata Farms. Starting with Grenada, ensuring that we build sustainable farms, that we protect our environment, we're creating jobs, and the community itself is growing as well. Because for me, it's not just growing a multi-billion-dollar company and creating 20,000 jobs in Grenada alone and regionally. It's about how can that enterprise change a community. We talk about free education, good infrastructure, about beautiful roads, protecting our natural resources, our water, and all of that. All of it has to form in that big picture. So it's a bold vision, I will say, very ambitious.
Then there's the incorporating of technology. Now that is fascinating to me. Take us down the technological side of your vision.
I always like to start with our history of agriculture. Let's in Grenada context, how the agriculture has been operated, produced, and even how we consume our food in that traditional sense. It has sustained our people for centuries. But now we have challenges. We have global shocks, we have climate change and all of that stuff. And we cannot afford to do the same thing where we have been doing it for centuries and expect, well, we could still have the same type of quality of food, we're going to still able to feed our growing populations. It just doesn't work. And then you have a growing generation that they're looking to work smarter, not harder, which is fine, right? And in order to do that, that's where the technology comes in. For me, sustainable agriculture or even meeting our food security demand, technology has a large part to play in that as well.
Absolutely.
People, I think there's a fear in terms of technology is here to replace. But if you do not educate yourself, that's where the fear comes in. But if you educate yourself and you train, you will see the possibility that do exist. I always tell people, I want to have a sustainable system where you have greenhouses that is able to produce food year-round. Year-round. The only thing I should fear about is if a hurricane comes, and then if that's the case, I'm going to build some nice rain-resistant, hurricane-resistant structures, but that should be only delayed. But I should be able to produce food year-round. And I should be able to have that food going out to the market at affordable prices and consistency and beautiful food. Organic, healthy food to have a healthy country. And then they will say, well, if you want greenhouses, does that mean you're taking away the food from someone's mouth in terms of you're unable to employ someone? No, but it's an upgrade in terms of the type of jobs you're looking to provide. Because we no longer have field workers, but you have technicians operating that greenhouse. You have people now focused on the protein part of a seed and see how that can be protected in our own local heirloom plants. These are things that are worthy of exploring. These are the possibilities. It's not to replace, but maybe to enhance the quality of our education and the quality of our jobs. We talk about minimum wages. When you have expert opinions or expert fields, then you can call your big dollars for your jobs. And it's my responsibility to provide that space and pay you well. So it's not to replace. But I always say you have to educate yourself and see what do exist and how that can be adapted and replicated back in Grenada. And technology are beautiful things. I'm obsessed right now with AI and protein engineering and
I
nanotechnology.
believe you.
Yeah, because I'm thinking of the future of food.
Yes.
The future of food is not going to be the way we're consuming it now.
Yeah.
Because we've seen the emerging of different technology and innovation that, yes, it's going to be competitive to our people in terms of the way they work. And if I am a business owner providing a job, and if I'm able to spend 50 cents less by using an AI machine than a human, I will do so. If it is, I'm getting timely results, there's less mistakes being made and so forth. And what will happen, you'll have humans and machines competing together.
That's right.
And that will happen. You'll no longer be able to stay at home and cook. So how do you eat? So you see, these are the things I am thinking about in terms of how that image of food is going to look like in the next 20 or 50 years.
Wow. And by the grace of God, I pray that I'm around to see everything come to fruition. And your passion, let me just say, your passion. I'm sitting here and I'm being totally consumed by your passion.
Yeah.
And we need more of that.
I know. I'm hoping to harvest a few.
Yes.
You know, and they are beautiful, hardworking, passionate people in our society.
Yes.
I think that's what makes Grenada so beautiful. Is everywhere you look, there is someone with a beautiful idea, a solution. But what we lack is resources to take it from here, to make it into a prototype.
That's right.
That's what we lack.
And speaking about, you know, your, should I say, your plan or your intention to, you know, advocate and get everybody involved. Let's talk a little bit about an area that I'm particularly, you know, interested in as well. Women and youth empowerment. Empowering women and youth is really the core of your mission. How would you say you would like to integrate these priorities into your agriculture community development work?
Wow. Even though I like to say women empowerment for girls, that we cannot leave the men behind, our boys.
I agree.
I'm telling you, we cannot.
I agree.
We cannot. I always say they are the matter of our society. They are the foundations, and we need strong men in our societies. But oftentimes, our women and our girls are the ones with the barriers. They are the ones who will always get the end of the stick, I would say. And in terms of agriculture, it's always the men who are given the resources. If you look at not just the Grenada context, but the global context, majority of our landowners in agriculture are owned by men. Resources, the funding are given to men rather than women. So I wanted to change that in terms of, you have a narrative now that women are the nurturers of our home. They are the homemakers, and we have been seeing in our own Grenada context, a large number of agro-processors are women. They have beautiful products, but they have no way of showing that globally or to the world or to our diaspora. So my first step, and I joined a cooperative, an NGO. It's right now we have 60-something members. 85% of that are women, and is giving them a platform to perfect their products, ensure that they have all the technical support, they have all the resources to create that product that can be sold globally, but at the same time connecting them with our global market, giving them the training and resources that they need. So we are growing cooperative and a growing NGO, but is it showing that they have all those resources to take. And on the girls' side is coming with tech, because we see in the tech space is only guys and boys, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, because I think even not just in the Grenada context, but globally, you'll see the guys are always the one with the science side rather than the girls. And what you're seeing now, women and girls are getting involved in the tech space. So we have STEM clubs all over the Caribbean being built, girls in coding. My 4-year-old daughter right now, she's doing Roblox, and every morning she's arguing. I was like, what you doing up? You have school? Oh, I just need to finish just 5 more minutes. And I was like, well, I need to send you to a coding school right now because you're going. So we have to, so my aim and my initiatives in ensuring that these girls and these women have these opportunities as well. Another thing, you have a lot of programs focused on youth. What happens to our women and men over the age of 40? who are unemployed, who are unrecognized oftentimes, they need to live as well. They need to have continuous training and support. So a lot of our initiatives are geared towards a mixed gender, but mixed opportunities. And we want to ensure that everyone has those opportunities to take themselves further, because it's about self-development, self-empowerment, and always everyone has to eat.
Everybody has
Everyone
to
has
eat.
to live.
And on that little note, we're just going to take a short commercial break. We're going to take a short break, folks. When we come back, I'll get to find out a few more things before I wrap up this incredible conversation with Ms. Bevon Chadel. More after this.
Hello everyone, this is Kurt Knight and you're watching Lexan Digital Media.
Welcome back. It's Lexan Digital Media, and of course, my guest, Ms. Bevon Charles, the founder and owner of Akata Farms. We've been chatting, Bevon, about your dreams and your goals, and more importantly, your action plan. And I love the fact that you had all these dreams and aspirations, and you're putting them into action. But then there's something that's called the Dome that I really want to find out all about. It's quite interesting. It's a concept with the Akata Farms. Tell me about the Dome. Sounds like a movie, right?
Well, here's the thing. It was
a series, right?
It was a series.
Yes.
Yeah, a sci-fi series
That's
called
right.
Under the Dome.
That's right.
It's basically a community that woke up one morning and they realized that physically they are separated from the rest of the world, right? No one can get in, no one can get out. And I said to myself, if in the Caribbean we wake up one morning and we have this dome over us, we are completely shut out from the rest of the world, are we going to survive or not? And what does that survival look like? I mean, after a few carnivals and a little heat for a couple of days, panic is going to set in. Who are we going to put in charge in terms of leading us? Do we know what our resources are? Can we quantify our resources? And what are the challenges we will face under this dome? Is our ability to breathe quality air is going to be compromised? And if that's the case, are we going to wait until 5 years to try to put a system in place to mitigate it? Or are we going to act now? So the concept of the dome is really understanding your challenges. What are the resources that you have, your talents, your gifts, and how can you use it to get yourself out of that barrier, basically. As a farm, you have a lot of young people wanting to get involved in agriculture. They have not figured why. Maybe they just want to have a means of income coming in. But for those who have no land, they have no resources, there's this barrier that is over them. And oftentimes we have to take a look within to figure, is this really what I need to do? Or is it, I am looking at something and it's not what I want, and because it's not what I want, I'm not going to take it. And what I have learned is that opportunities come in different ways, and sometimes circle back to what it is that you want in the beginning. It doesn't look at what you want, but you can circle back to what it is. So the dome concept is really understanding what your skill set that you need. What are your resources to overcome those challenges? Whether it's a farm, whether it's a media house, whether it's a fashionista, you want to start a restaurant, it's identifying your constraints and your possibilities. Basically, that's it. And if we're speaking in terms of Grenada, if we wake up one morning on a beautiful Spice Isle and we have this transparent dome over us, our import, well, you know what's going on there. We might soon be able to feed ourselves. Then what measures do we need to replace as a country? Policies we need to implement to ensure that we can feed ourselves despite any challenges. And we have to factor in the climate change, our health and our infrastructure, how that will impede our quality of life, our air quality. So it's really identifying the challenges and resources that you have to overcome those challenges. That's basically what the dome is.
Lady, you are phenomenal.
You see the reason
Can
why
I just say that?
You see the reason why I can't be driving on the road?
No, I know, right? Because you did confess that you don't drive because your brain is usually going
I easily distracted.
Yeah.
I see something, I see someone while I'm driving, I'll be like, my mind said, wonder. I mean, I don't want to be in any accidents.
Oh my goodness.
So I tend to be driven a lot.
Yes, madam.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
good to be driven sometimes. It is. But Bevon, this has been, should I say a dream come true for me? Because like we mentioned earlier, this has been long overdue. And I always wanted you to share your story with the audience, like Sand Digital Media audience. And I just want to wish you all the best with your future endeavors. And I do agree, we need a part 2.
Oh, yeah.
And I would love to visit one of your farms,
Yes,
possibly
yes.
for a part 2.
Definitely.
But there's so
before
much
the end of the
more.
year, before the end of the year.
We have just scratched the surface.
Yeah,
There is
yeah.
so much to talk about. so much to talk about.
Yes.
But thank you again. I'm going to try my best to stretch.
Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome.
Oh God, you're always a big supporter.
Oh.
You know, it made me laugh. When we met at that OCS breakfast, and there was a moderator, and you're like, I was like, you know, sometimes you make me guys have me humble and blushing because, oh my God, I'm not a celebrity, but I attended the youth symposium, and I was like, no standing ovation, just sit. I mean, like it's not needed. It's not needed, but it's I get teary-eyed when
But
I
you
see.
just keep doing what you do.
Yeah, I will.
You have officially found your purpose.
Oh, yeah.
And purpose is so important.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you just keep going.
Thank you,
Just keep going.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. All the best. So that's my conversation with Ms. Bevon Charles. Now, if you need to find out anything more apart from all the great information she just shared, you can just simply Google Akata Farms and you can connect with her today. I want to thank her so much. And for those of you viewing wherever you are, especially Floor One, welcome. And I'm so happy for the support through the entire Caribbean region made possible by Floor One. So thank you so much again. Do stay tuned and stay connected with the Facebook page to get all the updates on all the great episodes coming to you as we feature Spotlight Grenada.
50 years we strong and more to come.